Elderly man throws wife to death in tragic caregiving case. Mother-daughter suicide linked to fraud sparks investigation. Ultralight aircraft crashes into bridge in Pingtung. Man arrested for attempting to divert Mexican flight to the U.S. South Korea imposes travel ban on president. Mahama returns as Ghana's president after election win. Pamela Anderson still repping her bare face. Taylor Swift's Eras tour comes to a close in Vancouver.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Tuesday, December 10th, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan's news, in New Taipei City, a 73-year-old man reportedly threw his 68-year-old wife from their 14th floor home, leading to her death. Overwhelmed by caregiving demands for her rare condition, he later turned himself in. He is now in custody, charged with murder. A Taipei mother and daughter allegedly took their lives after being scammed of 12 million NT dollars. Reports claim police responded insensitively to the case. Authorities are investigating both the fraud and the police's conduct, vowing to hold offenders accountable. An ultralight aircraft struck a bridge pier in Pingtung during a forced landing, injuring the male instructor and female trainee on board. Video showed the aircraft descending after a sudden noise, leading to the crash. Both were hospitalized. And in global news, Mexican National Guard members detained a man Sunday morning after he attempted to divert a domestic Mexican flight to the United States. A man assaulted a flight attendant on Valerius Flight 3041 en route from Guanajuato to Tijuana and tried to enter the cockpit. The Mexican Secretary of Security and Citizen Protection said crew members subdued the man, and the pilot issued an alert code to land at Guadalajara International Airport, where the man was handed over to authorities.
In a statement, Volaris said its crew acted in accordance with established safety procedures and protocol. The Mexican airline said all passengers and crew members were safe, and the flight continued to its final destination. Officials said the 31-year-old man is a Mexican national who was traveling with his wife and 2 children. The Mexican Secretary of Security and Citizen Protection said the man told airline personnel that a close relative had been kidnapped and that he had received a threat stating he would die if he went to Tijuana. Mexico's Federal Public Ministry and Attorney General's office will oversee his case.
The South Korean government on Monday ordered an overseas travel ban on President Yoon Suk-yeol as he faces investigation on possible rebellion charges over a short-lived martial law declaration that plunged key U.S. allies into chaos last week. Opposition lawmakers are continuing to pursue impeachment for Yoon, who stunned the country on Tuesday when he declared emergency martial law, accusing the opposition-controlled parliament of paralyzing the government and sympathizing with communist North Korea.
Lawmakers rushed to the National Assembly in central Seoul, pushing past martial law troops to enter the building and vote unanimously to reject the order, which Yoon lifted early Wednesday, 6 hours after he announced it. It was a shocking turn of events for South Korea, which spent decades under military rule before transitioning into a democracy. Lawmakers swiftly called for Yoon to leave office, backed by thousands of protesters. Though the South Korean president is generally immune from prosecution while in office, that immunity does not extend to allegations of rebellion or treason. Yoon's apology is not enough, said Han Min-soo, a Democratic Party lawmaker and spokesman, adding that Yoon had led an insurrection and must face the consequences and punishment for this action.
Ghana's Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia conceded defeat on Sunday, a day after a tense presidential election, marking a historic political comeback for opposition candidate and former leader John Mahama. Bawumia said internally collated results showed that Mahama has won the presidential election decisively, ahead of an official announcement by the Electoral Commission. He has also stated that the opposition party had won the parliamentary election. Baumia said he conceded to avoid further tension and preserve the peace of our country.
Opinion polls had predicted a first-round victory for Mahama amid widespread discontent over the country's economy and a crisis caused by illegal gold mining. Ghanaians have been protesting against environmental degradation caused by unlicensed small-scale mining, a long-standing issue that has left vast areas of land scarred with pits and major rivers polluted. Ghana is also grappling with its worst economic situation in decades, struggling with high inflation, youth unemployment, and a steep increase in the cost of living. Baumia, a UK-trained economist who chaired the nation's economic management team, faced criticism before the elections for his handling of the struggling economy.
At the annual Gotham Awards last Tuesday night, Pamela Anderson arrived on the red carpet in a strapless champagne hue Oscar de la Renta satin gown. As the Baywatch star turned to pose for photographers, a large bow peeked out from the back of her dress. Yet her main accessory was her fresh, barely made-up face. Over a year ago, Anderson gave up her typical celebrity glam. Once known for her smoky cat eyes and lined lips, the actress made headlines in 2023 after attending Paris Fashion Week wearing only a dab of moisturizer.
The decision was born out of Anderson's desire not to overshadow her outfit for the Isabel Marant show, but there was a bigger point, too. In an interview with Vogue published in October 2023, Anderson reflected, "I know I wasn't making strides toward world peace, but I was making a statement," and added, "In this day and age, do we even know what a face looks like anymore? This is it." Since then, Anderson has become a pioneer of the no or barely there makeup look, fronting magazine covers, appearing on talk shows, and even accepting awards. At 57, when many of her peers will undoubtedly face pressure to maintain a highly polished appearance, Anderson is forging her own path.
As Taylor Swift sings in her famed fan anthem, Long Lived, remember this moment? For her loyal fans, there have been many of those moments since the Era tour kicked off in March 2023. Sunday night's show was the last of the marathon tour, which has spanned nearly 2 years, 5 continents, 50 cities, and a remarkable 149 shows, each of which featured Swift singing, dancing, and glittering for more than 3 hours. Swift said in June that the tour, which at the time seemed to be everlasting, would conclude in Vancouver in December.
The tour, featuring songs from Swift's 11 albums, or Eras, was marked by friendship bracelets, a revolt against Ticketmaster, a record-setting concert film, and booming economies in nearly every city. It also featured a blossoming romance with Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, who appeared on stage in London and was mentioned in Swift's Karma multiple times during the tour. Over the 20-plus months of shows, Swift found time to release 3 new projects, including 2 Taylor's version re-recordings and a new album. When the tour kicked off in Glendale, Arizona, on March 17, 2023, the show included 9 of Swift's then 10 eras, opening with Lover, which had not yet been toured due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and closing with Midnights, her latest release before the tour began.
The answer for yesterday was A, record. The country's birth rate has hit a record low, raising concerns about the aging population. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of South Korea imposes travel ban on president. Number 1, rebellion, 叛乱. The rebellion was crushed by the military after weeks of fighting. Number 2, impeachment, 弹劾. The president faces impeachment after accusations of corruption and abuse of power. Number 3, sympathize, 同情. I sympathize with her situation, but there's nothing I can do to help. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.